Good morning, Flosstube. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy, and this is my YouTube channel about cross stitch. It's been a little bit, a couple months, I think, since my last video. I don't know, life just got busy, and then I kind of lost my stitchy bug a little bit, and so I think the last time I filmed was the end of November. I'd wanted to come back like December, January timeframe, and I didn't. So instead, I'm coming back. It's the end of February. It's February 23rd. Hard to believe February is almost over. Life time is really flying by. If you're new, I had a bump in subscribers the last couple of videos, so thank you for clicking subscribe and hopefully liking the video. I where was I going? I don't know. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, regardless if you're new or if you've been here for a long time. I had a few people reach out to me and say, like, hey, how's it going? We miss you. And so that always is nice. I do appreciate that. So, anyways, you can see my hair is growing back in. Not as fast as I would like, but it's growing. Um, yeah. And so I'll just jump right in. I don't have a whole lot of life going on. It's just kind of the boys are in school and I'm working and um my husband's working a lot and yeah, we're gonna move this summer and so I feel like that always kind of affects my stitching um like prep, I guess, because I know like everything's gonna be packed up for probably a month, maybe not that long. We're just moving 2 hours east, closer to Kansas City. Right now I live in Junction City, Kansas, which is like kind of the middle of Kansas. And then we're gonna go back to Fort Leavenworth, which is about 40 miles north of Kansas City. And so we lived there 3 years ago. It'll be 3 years this summer, and so it's all good. My husband will have a much better job. Not that this one's bad, but his hours are crazy. He goes to work at like 6 a.m. and he doesn't come home until like 7 or 8 at night, and so it's just really long days. Um, Anyways, and I really like our life here. So it's kind of sad to move, but it's kind of the name of the game when your spouse is active duty. So anyways, you're here for the stitching. So what's been going on? I've been stitching. I haven't been stitching as much as normal. I've been kind of doing a little more quilting stuff. And that was part of the reason I took a break is because from Flosstube, I kind of set some goals that were probably unachievable and they really just tanked my ability to want to stitch. And so that's kind of coming back. I'm feeling a little more motivated now, and so I thought I would just hop on here. I have several things that I've fully finished. I have plans to fully finish a bunch more stuff. Um, I actually have a lot more whips than I thought I would. Um, I, but it's been 2 months. I gathered up since like January, what I've been working on since kind of the start of January. And then I got a little bit of plans, a little bit of haul, not a ton. So I'll get started with the fully finished items. Um, these are things that I finished in the last couple months, or last 2 months. So one of them, I'm just going to show you. So this is a project that I actually stitched like last year. I think I finished it January timeframe, but I found this frame at Hobby Lobby and just like the pre-made frame section, and it actually worked quite nicely. So I just popped this in here. This is Snowballs for Sale. It's a Lori Holt pattern. I stitched it on 25 count farmhouse, maybe. It's one of Lori's um, linens, Lugana's, whatever, the even weave. And then the floss is DMC, added some buttons. So this was fun. I did not get it finished in time to put up for when, I guess, I mean, I could still put it up now, but I'm about to take Valentine's Day down. And so, yeah, this will go up next year. But this is fun. And then I got a couple Valentine's Day things. So this is not stitching, but this is a pillow that I sewed together a long time ago. It's a pattern by Fat Quarter Shop. I'm pretty sure it's free. Um, And these are all like 1 inch finished half square triangles. But I really like this. I sewed it this pillow portion together, like I said, a long time ago, and I wanted to finish it into a pillow like this, and I just finally got around to it. This is the back, just something that was in my stash. Um, and so this wasn't finished in time for Valentine's Day, but it'll go out next year. Kind of story of my life, huh? And then a few more little Valentine's finishes and one wintry thing. This is a pillow. What's it called? Valentine's Quaker, maybe, by Primrose Cottage. It's stitched on a 25 count, and I think I used like a Victorian motto pink. Um, I really need to put some rickrack on it. It looks a little bit plain here, but I didn't. This is the back. So it's just stuffed with fiber fill. And then this is another Primrose Cottage. This is a little pillow I stitched a long time ago. It's on an even weave. And I think I stitched these. This is another one. I stitched these with Orifloss. Sorry. There's the back of that one, the back of that one. I don't like to cut the back and turn. I just do like an invisible mattress stitch on the bottom. These I might make some cording. They're pretty okay as is, but looking at them now, I feel like they need some trim, and so, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Set those over here. This is a little guy that I think I got as a kit from Hands On Design. I don't remember when. I want to say it was maybe with Jingle Ball, like not this last one, but the year before. But I was kind of going through my stuff and I found it and thought, oh, that would stitch up fast. So it's on an 18 count something, probably like a V-Stitch Me. And then it came all as a kit. So we got the circles. It came with the this like little fluffy thing. I think it came with this trim. This fabric was in the kit. And so yeah, it stitched up pretty quick. And then I just fully finished it. Super cute. I'm gonna pause for a second because I left some framed things I got framed. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. So this, I decided to drop some things off at Hobby Lobby to get framed in hopes that like getting the framed pieces back would make me want to film a Flosstube again, and it kind of worked. I'm really happy with how these turned out. So this first one is a little, either Little House or Country Cottage Needleworks. It's kind of a Valentine's piece. I stitched it a couple years ago. But Love Lives Here. And this is just kind of a custom frame from Hobby Lobby. I really probably could have framed this on my own, finding something, but I don't know. I like this. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And so it's stitched up with, I think, Fancy Floss, probably the called for on a, looks like a linen. I don't know, 28 count, 32 count, maybe probably 28. So that's that one. And then this one I really like. This is a modern folk embroidery piece. What's it called? Isabella's Heart. Sorry, Isabella's Heart. Um, I think I pulled Victorian motto, so it's not like the called for. It's stitched on a looks like a 32 count, probably slate Lugana. And so here's the finish. Oh, I really like this frame. My lighting is terrible. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see that. The frame is from Hobby Lobby. I used this frame on like a Christmas piece that I showed, I think, in my last video, and I liked it. I thought it would look good for this, and so it does. Uh, yeah. So here is my finish on that. Let's do more framed things that are gonna go away until I can put them up next year. Um, okay. And then last year, I finished, I like stitched one of these a month. Was it last year? I guess it maybe it was. I don't think it was the year. Actually, it might have been the year before. And I finally finished them. Um, this like last month in January, I think. And so it's this monthly mini series. I don't have January or February's here because I had them. February's is up right now, and January's I put away. I have for all of my pieces that I put out monthly, I have like a 12 box um, that I put them in so that I can easily kind of exchange them each month. And so once I film this, I'm going to put these pillows that I show you in um, in there. So this is March, and I have the little pin from Just Another Butt Company. So that's super cute. And then I don't remember which one's April. This is May. This might be April. This one. Let me look in the book. Sorry, bear with me. Hopefully you have some stitching and a beverage and you can just kind of watch and stitch along. That's what I usually do. This is April. So April is the purple one. And what flower goes with it? This little flower pin. So that's cute. The pattern has like two other kind of plain ballpoint pins with like a white ball. I don't have those. Maybe I'll get them. I don't know. This is May. Super cute. Here's the little pin, and that's the back. So the backs all just came from my stash. They're all stuffed with fiberfill, and the count is like a 32 count. It's one of those printed, like screen printed fabrics. That's a even weave, but I can't remember the dyer. But it's just like a tan or tan-ish. This is June with the little strawberries. Cute. July is patriotic. Everybody is going to be stitching patriotic this year because of the 250. I splurged and got the Celebrate 250, I think it's called, from by Plum Street. I ordered the kit from Shakespeare's Peddler, I think. So that'll be something to work on. And then what else? I also tried to pre-order the one from the attic. I just filled out their form and I don't know if I need to call them or not. So we'll see. Hopefully I get it. This is August. August. This one is September. There's the little acorn. There's the back. Oh, gosh. Wait, September, October is pumpkins. Oh, that's cute. Little black star. November is a turkey. This one's cute. November. There's the back, just a plain print. And then lastly is December. So yay, these have been shown. I can clean out my little box and put the pattern away and yeah. So that is another fully finished item. Okay, and then just like a couple days ago when I was off. So I worked the weekend. I was off like Thursday, Wednesday through Friday, and it's actually really nice having days of the week off because my kids are in school for like 8 hours, and so I get 8 hours to do what I want. And sometimes it's filled with chores and stuff, which is fine. But sometimes when I finish my chores or the house duties or whatever, I can just I don't know. I feel like right now I have a lot more time than I did when they were younger, and I'm sure that gets like more and more, and it kind of comes with the everybody says it's nice when they're little and they're kind of together and they want you, and then they get a little more independent. And I'm enjoying this time right now, having a little bit more time to myself to get stuff done, especially that I can like dedicate to my crafting. Um, and so we'll see. My work schedule changed here little bit recently I was like 4 tens, and now I do, it's called Panama schedule, so I do 12-hour shifts. And you're kind of on two, off two, on three, off two, something like that, off three, whatever. Um, so they're long days, and on the days I work, I really don't get a whole lot of stitching done unless it's a slow day at work. But my off days are, especially when the kids are in school, I feel like I'm good. Anyways, more fully finishes. So these ones I finished like just recently, as in fully finished. I did all of these have been stitched a while ago and they've been kind of languishing in a box. But this is another Primrose Cottage. I think they have a whole series of these. So this is Spring Wishes and Bunny Kisses. I know they have a snowman one. They just released like a beach one, which you'll see in haul. They have a Valentine's Day. They maybe have a St. Patrick's Day. I don't know. They have a lot. This board came from the Target dollar spot a couple years ago. And then I just finished it with stuff in my stash. So yeah, that's fun. I can finally put that out for spring. Um, this is another little one, Stitching with the Housewives. I think this was a release last year. I think I stitched with the called for fancy floss, but this fabric is a 14 count, like picture this plus crystal that I had in my stash. I can't remember the name. It's like a yellowy and green base. This paddle came from Hobby Lobby. I think I need to go buy some more because they're releasing the recent Stitching with the Housewives ones on paddles like that, and I think I'm gonna stitch a few of them. This is Spring Awakens by, oh, is it Heart and Hand? I don't remember. So this is a series. All 4 seasons are released. I've only stitched spring. I'd like to stitch the other ones, but usually there's like 4 colors and it's kind of chunky, 3 or 4 colors. I just stitched it in a variegated. I'm pretty sure this is a Be Stitch Me silk, and the count is probably a 36 or 40 count linen. Um, so super cute. I could have just made this into a pillow, but this little stand now I can just stand up on my shelf and I don't have to worry about it so much. This is another Stitching with the Housewives. I again think this was a spring thing last year. This flower came from Hobby Lobby. Doesn't exactly like, I mean, it fits enough. I just had this in my stash and I've just finished this into a random little circle. Sorry, I don't remember the name of the pattern. It's stitched again on that yellow, picture this plus Ada. It's kind of sparkly, fun. Uh, this one I don't know if I'm finished. I just put it on the circles. It's tulip time. I need to find something else to display it on, or I have a circle thing that I could just pop it in there. Maybe I'll do that because I don't think I have anything for spring that goes in there. But yeah, so that's cute. This one, I'm happy with this finish. So I stitched this pattern a long time ago, 5 years ago at least. Um, it's stitched on a 14 count, maybe brick. Is that an Ada by Be Stitch Me? Um, I think, and it's with fancy floss. I had it stitched into a pillow that a dog got a hold of and tore up. And luckily, they didn't damage the stitching. So I took the fabric off the pillow and I found this little basket at Hobby Lobby and I was able to finish this and I'm much happier with it. I didn't love the pillow. So, all that being said, if you don't like a finish, you can always take it apart in 5 years and redo it. So, yeah, that's cute. I'm happy and be excited to store that. And this is an old piece I stitched. This is one of the first things I like ever stitched. And I think I had it in a different frame that I was like changing out. And I stopped changing it out. I just left the other one in the frame and this one was just hanging out. So this is an old pumpkin, what is their names? Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I think they have a whole series of these. I don't remember the name. This was probably stitched 8 or 9 years ago, honestly. It's on like a 14 count. Is it Fiddler's Cloth Ada? It's probably stitched in, I'm sure it's stitched in DMC. This frame was nice and cheap. It was like $7 at Hobby Lobby. Um, so that worked out pretty good. And now I don't have to worry about changing it out. It's just there. Okay, last fully finish. Pretty happy that I found this one. So I finished the stitching last year. This is a hands-on design and Priscilla Blaine piece from Just Cross Stitch Magazine, 2016. um, it's stitched on a 14 count chalkboard black. It's stitched with the called for General Arts Fancy Floss. I've stitched the fall and the summer one. I don't think I've done patriotic. I know I didn't like winter. And the Halloween. I think I've done the Halloween. I think I finished it. Fully finished it. Anyways, I found this frame. It was in like the oopsie frames at Hobby Lobby, and it just fit perfectly. And I actually really, really like it. It's got like a shiny little inlet, and yeah, so I'm excited to have this finished, and I could put it up for spring. So yeah, maybe we'll catch that one as a screenshot too. I don't know. Anyway, so that, sorry, Hanky, that is all my fully finishes. I'm gonna move to the ground quick. I'm creating some more room. I don't know if you guys care about this section, but I have a few more previous stitched finishes that I thought I would show and how I'm gonna fully finish them, I think. So, I don't know, just for fun. This is an old one that I stitched a long time ago. It's a Waxing Moon Designs Spring Houses, I think, and I'm gonna finish it on this board. Again, from Hobby Lobby. This was just in the wood pile, and I painted it. I was gonna try to finish this before the video, but I decided to just start filming. So I don't know, fully finishes. I can show you this one next time. This is a little, these are just kind of March and spring themed ones. So this is a hands-on Blackbird Designs stocking. I have, I think, all the books except for 1 month. And each little booklet has like 3 stockings in it. This is the only stocking I've stitched. But I wonder if I should get that out and see if I can do a little more. And I honestly don't know. I'm going to finish it into a stocking. I've not done that before, so it's a good like skill builder, advancer. I don't know. Um, but I don't know how to display it. Like I don't have, I might just need to get a tree and start making a little few more ornaments that can hang, like a little tabletop tree, and then these can hang from there. I don't know how, if you've made these little blackbird stockings, how do you display them? I guess you could put like some flower things inside and kind of prop it up too. I don't know. But yeah, I have to get the pattern out because hopefully that has a template in there. And then I'll sew that into a little. This is a housewife series that I'm sure you're all familiar with. Um, the monthly weigh-ins. It was in the club from Fat Quarter Shop. Last year I started kind of finishing them. So I made January, February, March, and April, and I think I stopped. And so I have May through December to finish still, but I found a piece that I think they would look good on. This is just a plain Hobby Lobby like cutting mat. And or not cutting. Well, yeah, like a food cutting board. And I think I can like I'll cut this apart and finish and just have like March and a little weigh-in thing at the bottom with some cute fabric and maybe like some kind of trim or something in between the words in the month. Um, and that'll be easy. Another thing to like switch out. So this is probably one of my favorites. The March colors are really, really pretty. And so I just thought I would show you this one, but it's on the table to be finished. And then this one, I finished the stitching last year. You've probably seen it if you watched a video of mine last year, but this is a block party. Is that what she calls them? The hands-on design. This is the St. Patrick's one, 17th. Here's the finish. I have never made a block like this, but it's a goal to do. Here's the top, the bottom's boring. It's just a square, but here's the top. And then it comes with the little like felt that you put on there. And so hopefully one day soon, before it's actually St. Patrick's Day, I will sit down and figure that out. And then this last previous finish, I don't have the cover photo, but Kathy just released this. It's coming out at market, and it's I don't remember. It was part of Spring Fling last year. It was a class that I took of hers, but didn't actually finish it at the time. So I have to figure out how to finish it into a little mattress. And then I stitched these on perforated paper, and you make a pin with it. And so yeah, that's cute. And this was like the little bonus, just a circle. So again, something I could make into an ornament and stitch, but hang on my non-existent tree. So, okay, those are things that I previously finished. Now I have this three things that I finished stitching since January. And if you've been around for any length of time, for me to only have three finishes since the beginning of the year is like four, technically four, because that little let it snow circle that I showed you is like crazy. I usually stitch a bunch of smalls and finish a bunch of smalls, and that's just not what's happened this year. So, all right, the first one was something I started last year and just kind of focused on and wanted to finish is this pretty winter. This is a Rosewood Manor pattern, and it came with their what's the name? House of Embroidery or something like that. Floss. Each thing was like a kit. Um, this is a really tight, it's a 32 count, but golly, it's tight with two strands. Um, but the coverage is wonderful. I need to stitch this into a pillow. Um, and so maybe I'll grab some fabric for that. All right, next was this. I think I started this stitching on this last year. I'll just show you the finish. It's part of the Time for All Seasons series by Cottage Garden that was released a couple years ago. It's stitched on a 40 count vintage country mocha with mostly DMC. The white was like chalk. I think that was the only fancy floss it called for. Yeah, chalk, which is white. Chalk does not look variegated to me. I don't think you need to waste your money on it, but um I have one other of these finished, and I popped it in a frame last year. So I maybe we'll get that out. I'm not Probably not going to worry about finishing this one this year until we move and get settled next year or this summer. Okay, and the last one. I want to do one of these a month. I started February. Hopefully, I'll finish it by the end of the month. But this is January's. Good old days. I'm just doing the smalls. So there's the word. Here's one circle. And here's the other circle. These are all on 27 count. Linda, which is by far and away my favorite fabric to stitch on. Even though it's black, I don't think I've stitched on the they have a tan one, like a vintage country mocha-ish, but I don't know. I love this fabric. If it ever goes out of stock, uh, or stops being made, I'm going to be very sad because I like stitching all the housewives stuff on it. Okay, let me pause for a minute and reset. I'm going to show you my whips now. Okay, I'm reset. Thank you. Okay, these are whips. This first one, these are really not in any particular order. I just kind of plopped them on my table. This first one is my one of my two full coverage pieces. Both this one that I'm showing you is by Stitches So Beautiful. It's called Moonlight Bathed in Soft. Nope, Field of Flowers Bathed in Soft Moonlight. Who is the artist? It says by Illumination. Charted by Stitches So Beautiful. Yes, it's 300 by 400, so it's a big piece. 121 colors of DMC used. I don't remember how far I am. My tablet died, so I couldn't pull it up in Pattern Keeper. This is what the finished piece will eventually look like up in this corner. And that's my progress. I did an event with Stitches So Beautiful last month, so January, where I guess I call it a stitch along, if you stitch 250 stitches each week and post your progress, they will send you a free pattern at the end of the month. And I only participate if I like the pattern. So like for February, I didn't care for the free pattern, so I didn't participate. But it's a decent way to get a little bit of progress. Um, Stitching at 25 count 1/1, which is my first time doing that, and it's going okay. I put it in a hoop and a stand, like a lap stand, and it goes okay. It's not my favorite, but I really like that pattern. There's several other full coverages that I really like. So, all right, this next one is going to be a year-long project. I would really like to finish this year. It's been a whip since 2021, probably. Um, and I'm trying to do a motif a week. So on Sundays I'll stitch. I forgot yesterday. Work, gets in the way. So this is And a Forest Grew, Rosewood Manor. This is my progress. So it's coming along. Sorry, I stitch in hand, and so this right side gets real wrinkly. But I'm trying to work. This is like a couple page finishes, so I think I just have like the little motifs on this tree to be done with this page. So I might sit down and do that for a few minutes here today. So I can still say I got a motif this week. And then that'll be like, this is a page. I think this is a page. So it's like 14 pages or something, 7 across and two high. But this is a 36 count Tyco linen by Picture This Plus. Gosh, it looks so good. I need to figure out a different saying for the middle because I just don't. It's not bad. We just aren't particularly religious, and so I need to figure out something else to put in there. We do a lot of stuff outdoors, and so I'd like to do something with trees and outdoors. But that's that one. So motif a week. I need to keep that out and stitch it today. This next one is one I'm trying to pull out once a month on my birthday. Stargazer by Mirabilia. Well, not on my birthday. I don't have a birthday once a month, but the 19th. My birthday is December 19th, and so the 19th of every month I'm trying to stitch on this, and I think I did it. Well, I forgot January, but I did it in February. So I started this on the bottom here. I got most of that. I think most of that dark blue is done on her dress, and so I started adding some light blue. I'm also kind of semi-participating in Whip Warriors, and I used this for one of the prompts in like a word game search for dress. So stitched her dress. So trying to do a little bit once a month so that one doesn't languish. This is another one I would really like to finish this year. Oh, I don't have a cover photo. Sorry. It's called Red Christmas by Jardin Privé, but there's a green version. Last year in Jolly July, I finished this border, and so that took forever. This is an 18 count 18 count Ada that I dyed. long time ago. This is my oldest whip since 2020. And so this year I'm trying to remember to pull it out on the 12th and the 25th. Haven't done it, didn't pull it out on the 12th in February, so maybe the 25th. But again, I work that day. So who knows? And then at least put like a strand or two so that it makes progress. I think most of the inside is words, and words usually go pretty quick. And so, really, if I sat down and I just stitched on it consistently, like a strand a day, I'd probably get pretty far. But, you know, you have to sit down and stitch on it. So part of plans is I might do like a monochromatic march. I feel like a few floss tubers have talked about that. And so that could be one that I could pull out. This is one that I could pull out. And I've actually made a good bit of progress on this since I showed it last. But this is the project that derailed my stitchy bug because so back up a little bit. For this year, I'd kind of set goals and I picked a project for each month that I wanted to like focus on and finish. And this one was January's project. In order to finish it in January, I would have had to do 400 stitches a day, which some days is not a big deal. Some days is just not doable. And I mean, that's most of my stitching time on one day. And well, not really. Anyways, I focused on it too much and I didn't love it. And it was like, I don't know, it really made me lose my stitching bug. I still really like this pattern. Yes, I'm still going to finish it. All that being said, I'm thinking this will be a monochromatic March focus. We'll see how long that lasts because I got about midway through January, 2 weeks of stitching on it, and I put it away because I was like, I can't, it's not going to be finished in January, so I'm just going to stop working on it. And I don't think I've put in, maybe put a few stitches on it a few days ago, but I would really like to finish this maybe in the first quarter of the year, so March, April time frame. I already have a frame for it. I picked out a frame at Hobby Lobby thinking that would motivate me. Not a custom one, just a frame. Um, and it didn't. I was still like, I don't really want to do that. So, okay, that one. What else? This, I don't remember when I started this. Did I write it down? Probably not. Sorry, I'm looking. Maybe I started it in, because I only wrote down 2 starts in, there it is. Um, I started this in January, I think. Let me find you probably know what it looks like. It's called Quilted Farm Girl. Let me find the pattern. Lori Holt pattern. It's another one of her big ones. I'm stitching this with the DMC, but there's the cover photo. I really like stitching 25 count over 2 on this Lugana. So this is my start. I think I did a middle start, maybe. And I've only really worked on this a day or two. But this is real relaxing stitching to me. I just wasn't, I think I felt like it was not, it doesn't really have a season one. I guess maybe summer, spring, summer. It's not a winter pattern. And so I stopped stitching on it, but I wanted to get it started. Um, so yeah, all the DMC. It's called, I think it's stitched like the cover photo stitched in Classic Colorworks, and I didn't actually like it. I like hers in DMC, so that's that one. All right, this is another series piece. This is called The Fox by Cottage Garden Samplings. This is A Year in the Woods, #1, way back when. When was this? Copyright 2021. Yeah, sounds about right. I didn't start it until last year, but I have all the patterns. And so this is the my progress. I think I just started it last year and then I worked on it a little bit, a day or two. I gotta pause again. Hang on. Okay, sorry. My my one of my sitters messaged me and it's like, "Do you need me to work today?" No, I don't. That's one of the hard things about that rotating schedule is it can be a little confusing. And then childcare is just like a whole nother. Anyways, where was I? I was talking about the fox pattern. I've only stitched on it a handful of days. This is a 20, probably 28 count um fabric that came from Hobby Lobby. And I really like the blue. I can't remember the name of the blue, but that's all the progress I've made. Maybe I'll pull that out again this year. Maybe it won't. I don't know. We'll see what's calling to me. Okay. This one, I just pulled back out again. I started this last year. So just another Housewives piece called Beatrice. Um, I started it last year. I have all the supplies to finish it that way, and then I just put it away. 27 count Linda with the called for fancy floss. I love this piece. So I'm probably gonna focus on this until it's finished and then I'll hopefully get it fully finished because I have all the supplies and up by spring and yeah. So there's that one. A few more whips. None of these have a ton of progress. Oh, a lot more than a few. I thought some more in there. Okay, this one I pulled out for one day as part of a prompt for Whip Warriors, Liberty's Welcome. I started this on the 4th of July last year and didn't, hey, Henry, didn't get very far. But this fabric is a 36 count Edinburgh. And this last time I pulled it out, I got all the way across the top. So this should be the end. And I think it'll take up most of the top to bottom, but it's a big old piece. She's a big girl, even on 36 count. I'm stitching it with MPIs called 4 floss. 1/2. What's the size? 349 by 211. She's big, but everybody's working on for the sesquicentennial. Lots of patriotic stuff this year. So there's that. Henry, my dog, just made a mess of a toy on the floor. Okay, this one is from Just Cross Stitch Magazine. I'm sure you've seen people finish it. It's gorgeous. Nature's Journey by Sprouting Lupine. I started it last year and put one day of work in it, and then I pulled it out again for another Whip Warriors event. It was the Lonely Hearts one where you like stitch on the whip that you haven't worked on in a while. And so I got actually a decent amount of progress. I love this fabric. This is a 28 count Lugana Tea Leaves by Color and Cotton. It's really a joy to stitch on. Needle just goes through it smoothly and oh, it's nice. That's got a lot of DMC called for that I have in this bag here. So there's that one. Next, I was trying to finish this in February this year, but I'm falling out of love with it, so I don't think it's going to happen. Love is in the Air. This is number 2 in a Time for All Season series, so part of that Snowman series. 40 count, 1/2, vintage country mocha. I started this last year and I don't, did I start it last year? Yeah, I had part of the bird outlined. And then I pulled it out for a Whip Warriors event and I did this like Rose. It was like Rose or a prompt in Whip Warriors. And then yeah, this is my progress. It's hard to see a little bit, but the second bird is outlined, so that's all just fill in. This heart is just fill in. And then there's like the leaves on this side and some zigzag motif up here. So if I focused on it, this could be a finish in February, but I feel like if I put too much um, pressure on myself to finish it, then I won't. Uh, I'll shut down again. My stitching bug will shut down again, and I don't want to do that. So I have the next one. So number 3 is like a robin, I think, on a basket. Pull that out in March and put some stitches into it. This one was just randomly falling to me. This was a market release by the Blue Flower last year, I think. Pigeon and Puddle. So cute. It came with, or you could get like the pack of the cottage garden threads that was called for. So there's like 5 cottage garden threads. Um, and so I have that pack. My progress is minimal. Um, but 40 count, it's like grapefruit lugon or linen. Sorry, this lighting. I'm trying to get the lighting good. That's my progress. So I have a few of the flowers. You can see the yellow much better in person. And I started outlining the bird. Um, so that one could maybe finish like for April. I feel like it's a springy kind of piece, so it's cute. All right, now the last 2 whips. Um, this one I just started over the weekend. February word swap. This is kind of my take to work piece. And you can see I really did not leave myself much margin on this fabric, but that's okay because I do my own finishing. And I just need like so much to fold over. So, anyways, it's pretty tight. This is like less than half an inch. I need more than that. I started on this piece, and by golly, I was going to use it all. So, um, 27 count Linda called for fancy floss. Gonna try to finish all of them by the end of the month. We'll see. If work is busy on Wednesday and Thursday, which it probably will be because it's still very much in the throes of flu season, it won't be get much progress. But when is the end of the month? What day? It's like this weekend, right? Yeah, the 28th is Sunday, Saturday. Sunday's the 1st. So maybe. Last whip. Last whip. This one has been a whip for too long. This was on my list as ones to focus on this year, and it was gonna be my March focus. I don't know if that'll happen, but Ellesmore Cottage by Rosewood Manor. It's stitched on Outback Jack, 28 count linen by Bestitch Me. I left myself a note, so I'm gonna change this dark green because I think it's too dark. And I've pulled a different one from my floss stash, and I left myself a note to frog the dark green. So that's what I was working on like a couple days ago. I was putting in that green color and decided it's too dark for the pattern. Um, and so I changed it to a more tealy green. And because I'm not using the called for, I'm using like Victorian models from my stash. So they're very similar, but it was hard to, because she does not put like a DMC conversion in there. She just does the weeks called for. Um, and so I had to kind of Google what was close. And I don't know, when I picked that green, I didn't love it. So, okay, that is all my whips. I have a few things to show you in terms of like plans, like so monochromatic March, I'd like to focus on Pavane. If I get tired of Pavane, I'm gonna switch to this other one that was my um Alfor no, Long Dog Samplers, Long Dog Leap Day Sal. Is oh golly, where is it? There, it's in my OneDrive. dry, hold, place one dry. I started it last year on Leap Day. Was Leap Day last year? So I really should be finished by I should be 50% done. And I'm not. It's called Scarlet Ribands. I've had this thing kitted up for like 4 or 5 years, and so I finally decided to start it. So that's what it looks like. I started at the bottom right corner. This is a 40 count linen that I like. I think this is the whole margin, and that's all I have. So I really should be 50% by now because we're nearing the 2nd of February, and so I'll probably try to, I don't know, strand a day in March or something. Monochromatic March. I have all these Bell Swat cranberries, um, like a lot of skeins, and so. And what is the name of that fabric? It's a 40 count. I'm sorry. It's like a common non-overdyed one that people rave about. That they say, "Oh, I love that one." Plans for. Oh, this is a whip that will be finished in March because this will be finished. I can tell you. This is how far, I'm not like totally far, but these stitch up relatively quick, like a couple days I could finish it. So 25 count potato, Lugana. I have the called for coal color and cotton. I'm pretty sure I got it as a kid last year from, what's their name? Primrose Cottage. This is another one I need to pull out. Jardin Privé. Actually, I don't know if I have the cover photo. Because Jardin Privé does not. Which one is that? So it is this one. Okay. Sampler Offleurs. It's very pretty and springy and come on, come on. There you go. Sampler Offleurs, Jardin Privé. It's stitched on a Stitch Me. I don't know what this looks like. It's a Bay Stitch Me linen, or Lugana. That's my progress. It's very springy. This was like on my list to finish in March, I think. It was a secondary project. So if I finish Owlsmore Cottage in the month, then I would pull that one out and finish it. So we'll see. This next one is one that I need to start ASAP, also going to be part of Monochromatic March. Let me pull it up for you. What is his name? Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery. It's the stitch along for this year. It's called Little Acorns. So here's the cover photo. I'm going to stitch it in that vertical. Vertical? He had one that was like horizontal, so that's kind of cut in half. But I'm going to do the vertical. I was supposed to start it in January and I didn't. Sand dollar, 40 count. It's an even weave, so those are some small holes. And then I have this MPI color 505, so it's this pretty red hank that I got from Colorado Cross Stitcher a couple years ago that I didn't really have a plan for, but so I'm gonna use that for it, and I think that'll be pretty. So plans, Monochromatic March. And then last one, Stitch Along. It's called Tapestry of 12. This is in the Just Cross Stitch magazine. So here's the spring, and it's this. So it's this one. Pulled the colors. I have most. Say maybe have about half of the called for, but that should stitch up pretty quick. I just need to pull a fabric for it. Okay, that's all the plans for cross stitch. Right, a little bit of haul. I've got to get this out of my bucket so that I can put it away. And then if you're still around and you like quilting, I'm going to show you a little bit of quilting, but here's some haul first. So I got this guy, Coffee and Tea. I have another, like, I have Coffee Quaker by Heartstring Sampler, all finished and framed by my coffee, and so I thought I would stitch this one up. I might change the colors. I don't love the striping of those letters. Um, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see what I do. I got this guy. This is Collector's Heart and Hand 2026. It comes with the fabric and the cottage garden threads. This is the final one in this series, March Good Old Days. I really like these little floss drops. I have a lot of the egg ones and a couple of the different themed ones. I'm in this club from Fat Quarter Shop, Quilting Bee. So I just like that sewing machine. I think I would stitch it in the DMC because I don't love the variegation there. But this is kind of comfort stitching for me too. So it's stitched on the 25 count. Um, Teresa Kogut over released that Midnight Santa stocking at the Jingle Ball, and it looks like it's released for market. And so I got the floss from Victoria Clayton, like that conversion, and then I got this Ancient Ruin fabric from Fox and Rabbit 40 count. So it's been hanging out in my bucket for a little while, but I thought I would just show you guys that that's ready to be. I don't know when I'm gonna start it. And then I did, let's see, he stitched me, was it Friday Night Fight Night? Oh, no, this was a ready to ship. And I got a couple. So this Conversation Hearts in a 28 count linen. We'll open it up all the way because you gotta appreciate the whole thing. It's very pretty. I don't know what to put on this fabric. Have any suggestions? It's just pretty. So I got it. Uh, 28 count Willow Lugana. It's not as heavily modeled, so it's just very pretty. And then Rustling Leaves, 28 count Lugana. So this is a good fall one. Very pretty, pretty. So I haven't, I keep collecting the fabric, but I haven't been stitching very much. Or, I haven't been starting anything, so I need to really stop collecting the fabric. And I have cut back a little bit, but sometimes it's just hard to resist. I'm in this series, or this club from Top Knot Stitcher, Bobcat number 8. So these are so cute. Really like him. So I'll stitch that at some point. And then these are just kind of random, like prairie schoolers that I saw. Somebody mentioned in a Flosstube, and I felt like I had to get it. Prairie Garden 1, Prairie Garden 2, and I've been Prairie Birds. I've had my eye on this for a while. This would be a good. This would be, I think Alba Stitcher did like these one a month, 1 year. Very pretty. And then I just decided that I had to have this series by Jeanette Douglas. So the last 2 or 3 are releasing in at market, and I've pre-ordered them. But ABC, DEF, GHI, form alphabet, KLM, NOP, QRST. I think this one's my favorite. And then UVW, XYZ come out at market. So I will stitch those at some point. And then I got these from Primrose Cottage. So this is the recent release, Sea Wishes and Salty Kisses. I like this Beach Quaker. What's the colors? Classic Colorworks. So easy enough. And then this one. I don't know if I'll stitch this as a big piece or if I would break it down into the little pillows. I kind of like the little pillows more. but mostly for storage sake and like display sake. I did get like they had a finishing pack, finishing favorites, so I really mostly got it for the rickrack, but the fabric is a good bonus. And then because their little things were cute, little octopus, little crab, little seahorse. I really like ocean themed stuff and the turtle. So that is all of the stitching that I have to show you. Sorry this was a little bit organized and we're at an hour. That's kind of abnormal for me, but it's been a while, right? I have like 3 quilt projects that I got out to show you. So if you like quilting and you want to stick around, thank you. If you're done and I just want to see stitching, also thank you. I hope to be back sooner, maybe towards the middle of March. We'll see. I have a bunch of stuff laid out on my floor to fully finish, and so I might just come back and show you all that. Um, and yeah, we'll just see what happens with the stitching. Maybe I'll become prolific again. I don't know. So here's some quilting stuff. So I started this Valentine's Day quilt by Leila Boutique. I can't remember which one it is. I got the kit from Happy Little Stitch Shop. Um, and I'm at the point of, excuse me, I don't know how to show this. I have one full block done. That was like my tester, and now I'm just kind of doing it in pieces. So this is what one block looks like. I think they finish at like 10 by 10. Um, and then these are all half of the hearts. So I'll just flip through the fabric here. It's very pretty, very, very pretty line. Um, and so I have that one half of the hearts done, and then the other ones are like partially pieced. I gotta do some trimming. Um, and then I can kind of chain piece again, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna put any more time into that this month. I don't really know where I'm going with the quilting journey right now. So, um, I'm participating in this quilt along, and this kind of takes a little bit of my time too. So, this is what the finished piece will look like. Fun Fresh Sew Along by Lori Holt. I'm just going to show you the blocks that I have done. I just cut out all the ones for this week. We have, let's see, 5 weeks, including this week, and we do 5 blocks a month. So that's 25 more blocks. So these are just the ones I've done. Little cans. These are not in any particular order. Little chick is so cute. I have to still embroider that. This truck. Goat. Super fun. These are all 12.5-inch blocks. The other ones are 6.5-inch plates. This tractor. Corn and tomatoes. Here's another 6-inch little, what do you call those, tulips? And the beehive. Some pears. I think this guy's called a bear claw. I think. Little cottage. Little basket. Leaves. I got this kit from Fat Quarter Shop. All right, that's all of them. And then I have 5 more blocks to sew, hopefully today too. So those are those. That is that. And then this is a club that I was in last year. I don't remember 2025. Yeah. So I finished last year. And I kept up for like the first 3 months and then I fell behind. So it's English paper pieced. So that's all like by hand piecing, if you're not familiar. And then it's called Flower Garden. It's by they're in they're in England, London, oh, Liberty of London. The fabrics are Liberty. Alice Caroline is like the designer name, I think. Anyway, so I have a couple blocks done. These I did last year. I think I don't remember which ones now. But I had a few done and I decided to just work on them a little bit. So that's three, four. They're very pretty. And the fabrics are like super soft and florally and fun. So it's my progress. I very, that quilt along is already finished. But yeah, that's all the quilting. You saw my plans. Oh, I hadn't been filming this. We're good, we're good. Okay. I need to clean up this room, my sewing room, and I will probably stitch on piece those Lori Holt blocks for this month, this week, and who knows what else. I hopefully will be back much sooner than 3 months. I would like to be back no later than the end of March, but we will see what my motivation does. Thank you for tuning in this long. I hope you got a lot of stitching in. And yeah, leave me a comment, like and subscribe, do all the things to this video. That would be fantastic. And thank you for tuning in. I enjoyed visiting with you all. Have a good day.